If you're in payroll, benefits, or compliance, you know how quickly those headaches can pile up. But with Deal, it doesn't have to be that way. Deal PEO makes hiring in the U.S. simple.
And right now, you can get up to 3 months free. Just head over to deal.com/workdefined. That's DEEL.com/WRK defined. Welcome back, folks. It's another episode of It's About Payroll, episode 188. We got a always fun but sad at the same time true payroll crime stories. What up, Walt?
What's wrong with you?
What's good with you, Walter William Duncan III?
I'm good, Brian Escobar. Yes, sir. I'm good.
I had to holler your whole government so
Yeah.
people know I do know your whole name.
Yeah. We're brothers in this thing, man. So
No
yeah, I'm
doubt.
good. I'm excited to be here. My energy's up,
Wow.
and I'm
doubt.
good, man. And just really happy with life in general, and
No doubt.
just excited for us with the book coming, and got my book coming, and we're doing big things with the app, and so many things are at the table for us, man. So like, look, what's that saying that you always say? Don't complain about how much is on your plate if you ask.
The goal was to eat.
Yeah, man. Look, we're eating right now, and we're so grateful to everyone.
Amen, man. Amen. Thank you, bro. Yo, I've been meaning to say, I love how you have that charm hanging on the money sign charm.
No, that's the payroll baddies.
Imran guarantee.
Yeah, so I gotta represent.
You got blessed.
Yeah, man.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man.
See, yo, we know payroll baddies. we know, we're gonna do the crossover. At some
Gotta
point.
collab. Yep.
Yes, we have to collab at some point.
Pete, I think Pete was just on there again.
Oh yeah. They keep doing going back and forth. They and the AT aliens.
Yeah.
That he coined, right?
Yep.
Did he coin that, or is that
Okay.
a ATL thing? There we go.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like I heard that before.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. No doubt, man. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, the financial fitness in a minute. You got any updates?
Yep. Yes, sir, I do.
Nice.
So financial fitness for payroll pros, we've always, we did it for a while personal, and every now and then we'll bring up financial fitness for ourselves and what we've done, and basically being diligent about cost savings. The easy personal one is like, cut off those subscriptions, and they're like, it's so funny, Walt, because when we were talking about the personal financial fitness ones, one of yours was that you caught multiple subscriptions of the same thing on different devices, right?
Yes.
And that did not trigger me to go look at my phone and check until, thank goodness, shout out to the app. I think it was a weather app, like a storm radar or something like that. That actually gave me an email that said, we're about to charge you your annual subscription. And it was like $100 or something. And I remember getting the subscription in the beginning, but it was only like $10 or $15.
Yeah.
But that's for the first year,
Yeah.
right? They get you and you don't realize, oh yeah, I get $10. Well, you don't read the small print, the renewals at $100. So shout out to them for actually putting out an email. That I think that's good business. But anyway, it made me go check that part on my phone for subscriptions. And there was like 2 or 3 other ones that I was like, oh, hell no. Yes, bro. I don't know if I shared it or I forgot to share it. But anywho, that's what we do on the personal side. And Walt and I go through that like on a daily basis, not only for our personal, but our business.
Yeah.
Always catching things. By the way, business-wise, I just cut off renewal for a website that we don't need. And it was going to be like almost $100 again, renewal. And I was like, oh, heck no, we don't need that. You know what I mean? So, but what I wanted to be mindful of, and I was like, oh, wait, we need to do this for payroll pros. We need to tell payroll pros things that they can be financially fit at work and tell their business companies, right?
Yeah, kind of adopt that same logic, right? What services, look, from a standpoint, it may not necessarily be apps, right, that they're using.
No.
It could be services, third-party administrators that they're using, they're paying for it. They're not utilizing all of the different tools and stuff that they have. That's their exposure, right?
That's exactly right. And that's the financial fitness tip for today.
Oh, geez.
Go through your, like, specifically, you can start with your payroll provider, right? And what I've heard folks say before, and maybe if you're a junior, you're younger in your career, you don't you haven't asked to look at the contract.
Mhm.
I should hope that you have access to it, and are privy, because you're the users. We're the front end users. We're the frontline users, right? We're the day to day users of it. And make it a group project. If it's not just payroll, it's a whole HCM
Yeah.
thing, then hey, make it a cross functional meeting, something I championed early on in my career at other places after learning it at Columbia University, that because they already had like a pre-established cross-functional meeting,
Mhm.
and they had rules, right? If a project hit more than two departments, boom, the whole cross-functional team became a part of it. And I took that with me to other companies that didn't have cross-functional, and I was like, wait a minute, we need a cross-functional, and it was like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, blah, blah. So take those things, right? So good idea. Anywho, if it's a bigger conversation, then have a meeting, a cross-functional meeting with all of the stakeholders in that contract. Maybe it's IT, maybe it's HR and payroll, to look at the contract and see and make sure everybody's using all the things that you're paying for. You know what I mean? Because we companies could be paying for things, could have things
Mhm.
that, and they don't know that they're paying for it. And think about it, turnover. Some of the contracts they last. You stay with
Yeah.
a payroll provider for 5, 10 years, guaranteed. The same team that started that contract is not the same team that's there.
Exactly. Did you look over everything? If you did an implementation
Yep,
of another software, like you were saying, and you moved,
yep,
did you check off all those boxes
yep,
in those services, right?
yep,
Or did you
yep,
leave something unchecked, and next thing you know, you receive a bill or an invoice from the old payroll provider, like you were saying, like, hey, you
yep.
never checked that box off, so we kept on billing you.
Scope exactly. Scope creep is another
Yep.
one that I like that scope creep phrase. I learned that from a project manager at Four Eyes. She said, so scope creep is like, or like it can be contract creep,
Not
whatever.
a guy, not a
But
guy looking through a scope, right?
no,
I'm so
stupid,
corny.
bro. No, it took me a second. I was like, what is he talking about? I got it. Clever guy, this guy. Anywho, no, it's like one of the things, not only with modules and all that, it's your contract could have built-in tiered up pricing.
Mhm.
So from the first 2 years might be at certain pricing, but then in year three, it kicks up a few percentage. In year 4, 5, 6, it keeps going up,
Okay.
right? And or things that along the way, people were like, oh yeah, we need this little service,
Mhm.
right? And then not everybody's aware of it and not looking at the bigger picture. You know what I mean? I've been at companies where people didn't even realize how much they were spending on the vendor.
Mhm.
Oh, I thought we were paying this and I thought we were paying that. Yep, exactly. Exactly my point.
Yeah.
You know what I
There you go.
mean? So that is a just one way you can impact and possibly save your company
Great
money,
tips, man.
because you could find something that you're not using and then you can eliminate that and save a little bit of money.
Great tips.
So, yeah, man. What you got for us
I'm gonna
today?
be real quick because we have a lot to cover. So I looked up the average scope for career progressions in payroll, right? And what that kind of looks like. So I got this off of Google, and they said that between the entry level, 0 to 3 years, which is the payroll assistant, clerk roles, and you're learning systems and handling like basic
Uh-huh.
tasks.
I see.
Mid
Yep.
levels at 2 to 5 year mark. That's usually the payroll specialist,
Yep.
the senior assistant specialist, which is managing complex processing, compliance, and trainings. The
Okay.
advanced payroll and leadership, they say that's between 5 to 10 years. And that's the payroll
Absolutely.
manager, the lead, or the consultant. And you oversee teams, strategy, and some global operations. And they're saying
Yep.
that the executive is the 10 to 20 plus years in payroll. That is usually the director of payroll, a global payroll manager, requiring extensive experience in large scale management. So, what do you think about that?
I think it's accurate, but what I'm gonna throw in there is at the 5 to 10 year mark will put you at a place where you could start thinking about and or open your own business,
Okay.
if that is what you aspire to.
So let me ask you this. If someone is listening to this and you're like, hey, I've been in payroll 10 to 15 years
Ooh.
and I'm not at that lead consultant or manager space, what advice would you give
Mhm.
them?
evaluate where you are
Mhm.
with your current role and company, and it's all about what you want, right? It's all about what you want. If you're happy and you're good,
Mhm.
you're making the money you want, you're engaged, you're enriched, you're what's the word I'm looking for? You have you don't have any complaints in life, and
Yeah.
everything is gravy, then
Look,
man, you ain't got to do
and
nothing.
look,
But if
yeah. And sometimes, oh, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and if you do want to progress, then you have to evaluate where you are
Right.
because unfortunately, you may not be able to grow where you are.
Well, that's exactly what I was gonna say. So I'm glad I let you
Yeah,
finish that thought because
yeah,
it
yeah,
might be an opportunity thing. It
yeah,
might be the area
yeah.
that you live in thing.
Yep,
You know what I'm saying?
yep.
Like maybe you live in a rural town and there's not a lot of
Oh yeah,
different opportunities
yeah.
there, not a, big city.
Remote is not so
Yeah,
prevalent
yeah,
anymore. When during COVID and the remote was big for 5 years, and oh my gosh, payroll folks were moving and shaking all over the country, all over the world at that point. But now with more of a return to office and a hybrid
yeah,
thing, then now the pool is shrinking,
sure.
and good payroll jobs are few and far apart because there's only a few of us at every company. You know what I mean? It's not like a retail location that might have 300-400 stores.
Exactly.
There's many levels there. There's a lot of opportunity for a
Yeah,
manager of operations and those type of organizations
exactly.
because there's so many positions. Even at that organization, there's probably 2 or 3 payroll people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
absolutely.
and only one of them is the lead.
Yeah, exactly. And that person's been there for how long?
Probably for
You know?
exactly. So it's very tough to 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 grow within one organization as a payroll person. If you want to grow as a payroll person and you're in that five and up category, unfortunately, you have to make a move. You know
We've
what I
seen
mean?
different times, right? Like a lot
Yeah.
of companies back in the day, they offered those pensions. You were able to
Oh
work for
yeah.
a company and retire. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And now things are
Yep.
different. And you see more people job hopping. Hey, every two
You
to
see
three
more people.
years,
Yep.
they leave.
Yep. Yep. And that's normal. I mean, I had a CEO and I read his book. I don't have it up here. Shout out to Jose Costa. Which was he was the first CEO that I worked for that looked like me.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying?
okay.
So he had a big impact on my career. And in his book, he wrote like that was normal. 2 to 3 years and then you move on. You know what I mean? And yeah, so sometimes you have to do that. Or maybe, again, if you're in that 5, 10 plus category and you have aspirations to do something on your own, that may be what you want to set up for and just go on your own, do something on your
Yeah.
own. Because that's not for everybody either.
Yeah.
You know what I
Look,
mean? Like,
continue education.
yeah,
Learn,
yes, keep
learn
learning.
all the information
Yep,
you can. There's so many different things.
yep,
The OB3,
yep, yep,
that's coming. Like
yep,
learn, like on
yep.
top of those different compliance things, like add to your war chest, right?
Yes.
Of
Yeah.
knowledge and understanding when it comes to payroll and take those opportunities.
When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite, obey your thirst.
Yeah.
Right? What do you
Absolutely.
got, man?
Absolutely. Oh man, real quick, being that we're doing payroll true crime, I
Uh-huh.
actually have I'm just gonna tease another episode. Somebody in real life, because folks, the payroll true crime stuff that we find is just news
Mhm.
articles that we find and we talk about it. But this one came to me direct on LinkedIn, and this person gave me a real life payroll true crime that she uncovered at an organization that he or she was working at, and they and it was specifically around
Mm.
PTO fraud, basically. I have to connect with the person again to really put the story
Man.
together because literally it was back and forth in messages. And I need to connect with the person. I didn't even remember it until you said, "Hey, we're gonna do true payroll crime." I was like, "Oh my
Man, there
gosh,
you
it's the
go.
person I have." So I'm gonna reconnect with the person, put
Nice.
the story together, and definitely come and lay it all out so we can talk through it just like one another.
That's what's
But
up, man.
yeah,
I'm excited.
it's like a real true payroll. It's a
Yeah,
true payroll. You know
I'm
what I mean?
excited for that, man, because I think it's gonna
Yeah, me
be
too.
really, really awesome to actually
Yep.
get something from an actual look. All these things
Yeah,
actually happen,
our actual, but
like
like
you know,
we know like
yeah,
firsthand,
it's
really.
not,
We're getting a firsthand account
we
from
got a real
someone.
payroll investigator on our hand.
Yes,
Yeah,
and again, we've seen it. PTO fraud is some of the
yeah,
things that we uncover in these.
yeah.
So that's all I had. So let's dig in, man. What did you
So
find?
I found this great article. It happened back in the day, when we we're still
Oh,
young men and vibrant. No, I was saying we're still young.
1997.
97, yes. So look,
Woo! I was a year out of high school.
I was just a sophomore in high school.
Diablo.
Look at that, man.
You were still in high
Yeah, I
school?
was still in high
Oh
school. Yeah.
man.
So look,
God
this is
damn. He always got to throw in there that I'm older. Like, every
that
chance
means you're
Walt get,
wiser.
he be like,
It
yo,
me-
old
it means you're
ass.
wiser, man. What it
Yeah, I
means.
hope so. I hope that me.
So look, there was this guy that worked at, I think it was an armored cash handling transport firm,
Oh yes.
and he
Yes.
was considered a model employee. So in 1997, he teamed up with a former coworker, Kelly Campbell, and criminal associate Steve Chambers, plus a few others, to rob his own company's vault. So
Wow.
Campbell exploited Nat's attraction to her to recruit him.
Oh, it was a female.
Yes. So
It was a female and male.
yes,
Okay.
on the night of October 4th,
Sounds like a movie
yeah,
script.
on the night of 19 of October 4th, 1997, they sent another employee home instead of training him, and then he loaded $17.3 million in cash into a company van, which weighed about 1 to 2 tons due to the
Dang.
amount of cash. Yeah, due to the amount it was all cash. And so he just
It's gotta be all like dollar bills and coins. That
yeah, almost 2 tons, yeah. Like,
yeah.
he disabled and removed all key security measures. He set the vault time lock so it couldn't be reopened for days, and attempted to steal and destroy the security tapes. He then delivered the money to accomplices. He fled to Mexico with the crime intended to look like an inside job, but then he to vanish abroad. The initial getaway succeeded. He briefly made it to Mexico with a small portion of cash with about $50,000, but his co-conspirators were left very visible. They left a very visible paper trail because they began like spending like crazy,
Money.
buying a mansion in cash, expensive cars, lavish items. So their spending attracted attention from a local police chief, and he noticed the sudden wealth and tipped off investigators.
Of course.
So the investigators also found that they failed to destroy all security tape with one camera capturing the theft. So they
Oh,
destroyed all but one.
they missed
Yep.
one.
So
Got him.
the authorities used the video evidence, wiretaps on Campbell and others, tips from informants, and tracking financial activity through like large cash deposits to unravel the entire conspiracy. In the end, more than 20 people were arrested. And
Dang.
roughly 80 to 90% of the money was recovered, though a portion
What?
of it remains missing. So you think about it, it was 17 million. So about 10% is out there. That means 1.7 million was never found. About 2 million was never found.
But they spend some of it too.
Yeah.
Some of it is spent.
Yeah, some of it's spent, but think about it, like that still equates to like some type of cash. Maybe they can sell that property.
So good.
Yeah, right. So they still can get some cash from that. So what made it possible, right? Over reliance on trust and a single employee having all that access. What was that? Clay? Well, no one man should have all that power,
That's right.
right? And so like they had insufficient segregation of duties. That's something that we hear in payroll.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, the first one too. One person got too much
Yep.
oversight.
Mhm.
No segregation in duties.
Yep. Poor physical and technological security controls. All
Which still exist in payroll today, or not even just in payroll, just in companies.
Yep.
Bro, like, I still get like, what do you mean y'all do that? Because I talk to a lot of small businesses, right?
Yeah.
And I'll pick people's brains about that. Oh, you do that all, and inevitably people come to me with questions as well.
You know that Justin Bieber
Fan,
song?
friends and
Oh,
what happened?
You know that Justin Bieber song? What do you mean? I can see you playing it.
Oh yeah, Oh, I need that little and just,
Yeah.
like, play it to
Yep.
people. But inevitably, people come to me with questions too, right? They're like, "Oh, Brian, do I gotta do this? Do I gotta do that?" And I'm like, "What do you mean you don't do
Yep.
this? And what like,
Yeah. That
what?
goes to the
It's
that goes
2025."
to the next couple of ones, right? So start at the lack of monitoring the anomalies and just continue on from there.
Blah, 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 where oh, gotcha. So, okay. So what made this so more vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
There was no real-time system detecting unusual bulk cash movement of vault for real. The theft only surfaced when the vault couldn't be opened the next morning.
Mhm.
No robust audit or surprise inventory checks. This is something like,
Yeah.
yes, we talk about this all the time. You don't have enough audits,
Reconciliation.
reconciliations. What was the other one? Validation, audit, and reconciliation. They mean three different things, folks. So you
Yes.
cannot use them synonymously, right? We teach this in our one of our courses. They mean three different
Yes,
things,
sir.
and you should probably do all of them. And if you don't know what you should be auditing, reach out. We'll give you a free list of things
Mhm.
that you can audit and start to look through. And an easy tip is at each transaction point,
Mhm.
right? Anywho, so no robust audit or surprise inventory checks. If there had been some periodic unannounced reconciliations or audits, large discrepancies might have been caught. No real-time oversight over downstream cash flows.
Mhm.
So once cash left the vault, there was no traceability. The money could be moved, stored, or distributed by conspirators at will. That's
Yep.
crazy. No robust employee background or behavioral. What? You see what I'm saying? And this still happens
Yeah.
today. So no robust employee background check or behavioral risk evaluation, especially with that level, like that type of job,
Yeah, with that type
right?
of business, right? When you a heavy
Yes.
cash flow, like all those
Yes.
different
Money,
you
period.
need to have
Like,
people who
yeah.
are gonna have integrity in those
Yes.
positions.
Yes. Exactly right. It's a trust
Yeah,
business,
bro.
right? You should be doing some level of background. I remember one job early on, they did a credit check from on me. I think that I don't think you're allowed to do it anymore. But they did a credit check on me, and you know like asked me about my credit, and I was like, "What?" And they're like, "Well, we're trying to trust you with our money, so
Wow.
you got to be like, yeah, we need to understand your practice." And it makes me think now, right? How you do anything is how you do
Boom.
everything,
Yep.
right? So they were validated in that.
There
So
you go.
anywho, what's the other one? Let me see. No robust background check. Hey, was your uncle? Insider threat wasn't recognized. Red flags. Personal relationships. Financial stress. Unusual enticements weren't identified or acted upon. This makes me think about. We were just talking about financial wellness,
Hey.
right? And how like if your people are secure financially, how much better, more productive they are.
Mhm.
You know, think about it. This is performance reviews, check-ins. Are you checking in? Are managers checking in with their teams? Like,
Yeah.
because if you see stressors in your teams, you like, whoa, especially in this type of business,
Yes, bro.
you're like,
Yeah.
whoa, what this guy's going through a
Yeah.
lot.
I checked with one of my team members, right? And actually what's going on because she normally didn't make mistakes like that. And so I reached out to her, "Hey, is everything okay?" She opened up to me and said, "Hey, I'm going through a lot in life right now.
There you
Like,
go.
I'm
There you go.
struggling financially, and this is going on, this is going on." And she
Yep.
let me know about
See.
those things, like, well, she didn't have to, but
Yep.
we had that rapport, and so she told me that, so I'm like, "Okay, hey, if there's anything I can do to
Yep.
help, I'll let you
Yep.
know. I might not be able to do anything about the finances, but if you gotta do this, gotta do that, I can maybe speak to somebody or whatever, but, you know."
It's like, what's his name? William Davis. We had William Davis on. It's
Yes,
a book
sir.
he wrote. Oh, there he is. And he was on the show,
And
and he talked about that, how like he had. And by the way, he's the ultimate leadership blueprint, how to lead without just managing.
yes, sir, I love that.
Right. That's the book he wrote, Leadership Blueprint series, written by William Davis. So that was a great conversation, and that's what you just made me think of, and how he was like, folks went through bad times, and how do you lead through that?
Yeah.
How do you lead your people through these stressful
Mhm.
times and help them get through it?
Yeah,
Like, are you going to be a human about it, or are you just going to be something else about it? Yeah. So
exactly,
anywho,
bro.
stay is and what what I liked about the conversation with William Davis is that we really talked about the difference between a leader and a manager.
Yes, bro.
Right. And there's a quote by Warren Bennis that says, managers do things right. Leaders do the right thing.
Boom. Yep.
Right. And that is something that if you aspire to be a leader, that has to be something that you understand.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So in short, the system was designed for efficiency and speed, not for fraud, resilience, or insider threat mitigation, which is crazy being that you move cash.
Yeah, but look, they were right. Like, hey, we want to be as successful as possible. We want to move all this cash as much as possible. And they didn't think about the guardrails for it.
No, you're exactly right, because it just said you want to, it was built for efficiency and speed, not for fraud and resilience. I had an HR director, I think it was also at Columbia, and she said, we were in a cross-functional meeting, so I'm pretty sure it was Columbia, and they would say, and they like, hey, we can do it fast, but it's going to be dirty.
Yeah, I remember you said that.
Yep. Hey, we can do it fast, but so it's like, hey, you want it done fast and just fast, or do you want it done right?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing, right? And it makes me think of something else, the blue ocean strategy, which I'm reading right now, and they talk about the red ocean, and it's basically a book about how businesses really create their own market and how they do that, because most companies in a red ocean are just competing against each other against the same thing. Oh, they got a better product, we're going to have a better product. They lowered their prices, we're going to lower our prices.
I remember
right?
that, yes.
So this is making me think, back then in 97 with this business, it was probably efficiency and speed was how you competed in the market. And nobody realized, wait, we're sacrificing resilience and threat mitigation
exactly.
to be efficient and fast.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Man.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. You're ready to move your business forward, but first, you need to find the right team. Start your search with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It can help you reach qualified candidates fast, ensuring your listing is the first one they see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs are 90% more likely to report a hire than non-sponsored jobs. See the results for yourself. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
So, all right, what's the next section we got here?
What payroll or HR could have done or couldn't have done in this situation, right? Look, payroll and HR really didn't have, or we really don't often have direct hand in like ball or cash operations in this sort of situation, right? But maybe we can play a supportive risk mitigating role, right? So here's what we may realistically be able to do. Like maybe, implement hiring, hiring and background screening policies for high risk roles, like bulk supervisor, cash handlers, drivers. HR should ensure that thorough criminal background checks, financial background checks, past employment verification, and periodic rescreening for key roles.
Yes. Yeah.
Enforce rotation of assignments and job shadowing. Make sure no one person has long-term unmonitored control over any roles, right? Basically what we always say, don't let anyone operate in a silo.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. No, payroll and HR doesn't have direct impact, but we could be helping in areas like this.
Absolutely.
And it's a great example of how what did Trista just say? All roads lead to payroll.
Yep.
Right?
Say that.
All roads lead to payroll. So, and I actually just quoted, I reached out to her, I want to quote her in the book.
Nice.
So I'm doing the final edit, and I was reading something, and I was like, this is all road leads to payroll. So and she's like, absolutely. So this is an area where like operations often operate in a silo, and they don't lean into their support folks to help. Like, hey, we're having an issue over here. What can we do?
Yeah.
Let's talk to finance. Let's talk to payroll. Let's talk to HR. How can we improve in these areas where we might be having some issues? And it's just, yeah, man, no, for sure. I like the enforced rotation part of it. So, yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
No, you're good. No, I like that. So like, look, the job shadowing, we said, mandate job rotation and periodic reassignment for sensitive positions. That will keep everybody
Yep.
honest. Monitor for those
Yep.
red flag situations, like we said, personal
Yes.
behavior,
Personal
with
behavior.
sensitivity,
Yeah.
of course, with sensitivity to privacy.
Yeah.
If you see somebody become all of a sudden they become unexpectedly wealthy, or there's lifestyle changes, get frequent requests for cash.
And you work for a
Yeah, bro. I heard a story.
armored truck company.
I heard the story when I was in the military.
Oh my.
I heard this story while I was in the military because being in the Navy, you have to have cash on board, because there's stores on the inside of the ship, so people can actually use cash to buy certain
Was telling me
certain
about
goods
that.
and everything like that. I heard a story.
Yep.
Look, I can't verify it, but I heard a story told that there was a supply officer who was over the safe, and he made friends with this guy on the ship.
Oh.
He trusted him, and he ended up getting killed. Because sometimes some of those ships, depending on the vessel, you can have $500,000, $250,000, up to $1 million worth of cash on board at any given time, right? I escorted a supply officer, and from one destination to the other, and I had to have my little guns on me and stuff. He had the cash. He said, "Look, this is what $1 million looks like." Well, or Duncan, yeah, and so this guy killed him, and he would have got away with it if he didn't start purchasing all these different cars. And how he got found out was because the captain of the ship saw him pull up in a new car. It was just like, he drives a nicer car than I do.
You can't afford that on your
doing that.
whatever ranking.
Yeah, so that's the story that I was told.
Wait a minute. So the guy that you escorted ended up getting
No,
killed?
no,
That's the same guy?
no,
Oh, different guy. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang. You know what it makes me think of? You ever seen that movie Three Kings?
Yes. Mhm.
Right? I think it was like, I want to say it was George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, and Ice
Yep.
Cube. Yes. Oldie but a goodie, but I haven't seen that. I got to keep that
again.
now. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to watch that movie.
Go check it out, y'all. Movie
Yep.
reference. Look, you
Yeah.
can also monitor for we talked about that. Look, if there's frequent requests for cash advances, or among coworkers, there's non-work relationships that create conflicts or vulnerabilities. HR could administer periodic disclosure or compliance reviews, or speak with supervisors to note those unusual patterns. Facilitate whistleblower or anonymous reporting programs, ensuring that employees know that they can report suspicious behavior without fear.
Yep.
Communicate policies for integrity, ethics, fraud reporting, and protect those who report those concerns. Coordinate with internal audit and compliance teams. HR payroll could trigger reviews or audits if behavioral or situational risks are identified.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So training and awareness, that's another big piece, right? Train everyone to look out for those things. See something, say something, right?
Yep.
Look, that said, HR and payroll aren't enough. They can't see every vault operation detail, nor realistically actively monitor real-time cash flows or guard the vaults. We're here to support. So what we can do is just mention these type of things to our HR teams, to our those in positions of decision making, and let them know, like, hey, are we doing this, and that? Trust but verify, man.
Yep.
So go ahead.
Yeah, I know. I love this because folks might be like, "Oh, it like you said, it's not HR payroll directly related."
Mm-hmm.
But why this still offers useful lessons, even for businesses outside of cash or payroll or HR directly. There's some lessons in it, and we've talked about them. There's training, there's compliance, there's reconciliations. What really is still screaming out to me is touch points with your team. Right? Because sometimes as payroll, you're like, oh, this HR stuff and the goals, and I got to touch in with my teammate and all this. Especially as I'm looking through a lot of different systems, and they all have this performance stuff and one-on-ones, and how often do you one touch point, and weekly, and the email and the check-in and all this stuff. And it's like, really? Do we need that? Yes, you look. I think it depends on the business that you're in, right? It all depends on the business you're in. Because if you have this high sensitivity of you're moving cash, and now think about it, it could be, fast forward to today, maybe it's a cryptocurrency company that is, what are they doing?
Yep.
Right? Cryptocurrency, right?
Yep.
You instead of moving cash, hey, you have what's that that guy that went under for the crypto company?
Yep.
Because I just heard something recently that he was trying to what's the word? Appeal
Oh,
his
wow.
case and all that. Yeah. So anywho, so even if your business isn't in arm and cash or payroll directly or HR directly, here's some of the things that apply, right? There's useful lessons here in these
Yeah.
true payroll crimes. So one of them is insider risk is real. Okay.
Mhm.
Employees with privileged access, whether to cash, inventory, data, because data is the new oil,
Yes, sir.
or systems. Systems control the data.
Yep.
They need layered controls. This applies in payroll and HR directly,
Yes, sir.
right? In other companies, indirectly, and in payroll true crime, absolutely, because that is what we see is the number one issue is that insider risk,
Yep.
that insider that's stealing, you know what I
Yep.
mean? And owners are the
For
other
whatever reason.
repeat. Well, I mean, again, it's the temptation, because you can save so much on payroll taxes.
So let me ask you, before
Yeah.
we close this out right? So
Yeah.
do you think because of the state that we're in now, that more people we're going to see more stories like this?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it would probably be a good data point to see how financial crimes rise and fall as it relates to recessionary times.
Oh, that would be a good metric to check. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, crime in general, really.
Yeah.
So, okay, here's another one. Trust is necessary, but not sufficient. Trust but verify.
Mhm.
Systems should assume even good people might make bad decisions under pressure or influence. That's
Wow.
exactly right.
Yep.
That's the business owners that we cover in these true payroll crimes. Might be good people, but under a bad decision or under the influence. Look at I'm flowing with movies today. John Q.
Yes. John Q. Yes.
Bro, John Q was like, and I feel like it came out at a time where maybe I just had my daughter, my oldest, and it was just like a heart, tear. What is that? Heart bowl
Tearjerker.
or something? Tear jerker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Heartstrings. Yep.
Well, heartstrings.
Yeah.
That's the one. I think, sir. Separation of duties is another one.
Yep.
Auditability.
Yep. Said it.
Auditability.
Auditability.
Accountability and transparency matters. These things matter. Like you gotta have this in place. Monitoring for behavioral anomalies or too good to be true. Yes.
Yep.
I just had this conversation with my oldest daughter. If something looked too good to be true, it probably is.
Yes, sir.
Steer clear or come get some advice, please.
Yes.
I'm whispering like she could hear me. She can't. And she listens to the show. The whispering is not gonna matter. Oh crap! She's back on clips, so she's gonna hear this. She might hear.
Yeah. She's going to
Sorry,
please. Yep.
Neats. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's all love. So monitoring for behavioral anomalies, too good to be true,
Yeah.
and personal changes can be an important preventative control.
Yep.
Just like that, the ranking officer saw the other officer pulling up with a new car. Like,
Yep.
wait a minute. Whistleblower mechanisms and organizational culture geared toward ethical behavior help catch issues that purely technical controls might miss. Yeah. So now, what I can say though is, with all the technology and being behind the scenes, is there truly an anonymous call?
What do you mean?
Is there truly internally, right? Is there really a place where employees can call that they can feel like it's going to be an anonymous call?
Yeah.
And they're not going to know it's me.
The McDonald's snack wrap is back. You brought it back. Ranch snack wrap. Spicy snack wrap. You broke the internet. For a snack. Snack wrap is back. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
So what I tell folks is because they'll be like, oh, I hear crazy stuff, right? And I'm like, yo, you need to report that. Like, that's not
Yeah.
even legal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, but I can't. And I'm like, I'm sure they have an anonymous. No, but that's not really anonymous. And I was like, no, you're right. I was like, so what you do is you tell your aunt across the country to call.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or tell that person to go to a payphone and do it. Gosh, if they even have payphones anymore in the world. But you know what I mean? I'll like type a letter, no name. Like I'll tell them like, hey, here's how you make it anonymous for real. But you gotta report that. Like it's crazy the things that still exist at companies.
Yeah. Because these
Um,
companies, I think they're thinking about making money. They're not really thinking about how to put those guardrails in place. And it's
Yeah.
kind of like, look, what are some of the things that we've experienced in our business and podcasts and growing?
oh my
The
God.
pains, like
Yep.
scope of work
Oh,
is something that we
oh
had to
my
learn,
God.
right?
Yep.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Oh
Yes.
gosh.
It's so
Oh,
many things that we had to
yes.
experience on our own right,
Yes.
which I'm glad we experienced when we're small
Small.
versus when we're
Yeah.
big and then something more painful. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
Look, what
Yeah.
can businesses do? Again, it's kind of regurgitating some of the same things. Have those random audits, reconciliations of cash,
What?
or cutting it up. Have more than one person required for vault guarding
Yes.
or duty
Yeah.
or whatever. Do
Yep.
inventory. Make sure your security cameras are up to date.
Yep.
What's up? What are you gonna say?
It makes me think about, you remember the back in the day, I don't know, maybe they still even have it, passbook accounts at the bank where it required two people to
Oh
sign to make a withdrawal,
yes.
right? I know, I did one, like, that was like one of the first accounts I had with my mom, like doing a savings account and stuff. Like, mom come in, she was like, yeah, we're gonna do the two signatures because I leave you with this, you ain't gonna have no money.
Exactly.
And I was like, yeah, probably.
Exactly.
So that made me think of it, the two people deal for the vote, dual control.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that might be something. So in terms of payroll, what I want you to think about if there's any situation where you feel like there should be a scenario where there should be dual control, whether that's interdepartmentally
Yeah.
in payroll
Yeah.
or across HR and payroll or finance and payroll, right?
Off cycles.
There you go. I like that.
Off cycles. How many jobs have you been at as a payroll person where you could just run an off cycle and nobody knows?
Yeah.
Not in real, like they'll find out. Like
Yeah,
finance is
knows,
gonna
yeah.
know. Yeah, finance is gonna know, but they may not know until the end of the month.
Yeah.
You may run it now. Well, depending on how it is, the money and all that, depending on how it's set
And
up.
depending on your finance team, because I've dealt with some
Yes.
finance teams that just kind of forecasted and that was it. We
Ooh.
forecasted, everything's gonna.
And then they catch up when they do month end, and they're like,
No,
"Wait a minute."
no, they're just like, if it wasn't across a certain percentage, they'd just be like, okay, we're good.
Wow. You see what I'm saying? So there you go. So think about, see, like, there you go. So that's off cycles is right there. Like you put rain down on off cycles. I think off cycles wreak havoc.
Yeah, they do.
Personally, on our side, and it's funny, we talked about this a few shows ago about how, is it customer service or is it not? It absolutely is customer service, but it also wreaks havoc in the back end on administratively.
Yeah.
So, but there's a lot of technologies out there trying to help solve for processing off
Yes,
cycles.
sir.
So good things to think about. But anyway, yeah, sorry.
Make sure your security is up to date. Make sure that you have tamper resistant disk storage.
Tamper resistant.
Do the employee background and periodic rescreening, like we said, and make sure that your culture is up to date. And make sure you have a good culture. Go ahead.
No, thank you. Yeah, no, the tamper resistant tape storage, it may be a little outdated as a security measure.
You never know.
Because, well, no, I just want to translate it into
some people far to still use that, bro.
No, I know. Yeah, I know. But there's some young people out there that are like, what? What's that? You know,
something that
I've shown my kids different things, a CD player, or what? Oh, I swear to God, I showed my daughter a CD. She was like, what is that?
Yeah.
And I was like, there's music on this. She was like, huh?
A lot of people use the cloud these days. There's not a lot of tape anymore.
So that's That's what I want to do. I just want to tell for the young people that are like, what are they talking about? The equivalent is to have redundancies. Like, so if you're storing in the cloud,
yeah.
or if you're storing information within your vendor, please, please, please
Mhm.
have redundancies and make sure you're also storing it locally to your company. Like, very simple example, what we talk about all the time is payroll data, right? All your reporting is absolutely in your vendor.
Yep.
But guess what? Your vendor is not obligated to hold all your information for you forever,
Yep.
right? They are also purging data according to compliance rules. So you might want to reach back and be like, oh, I need this report, or we're leaving the vendor and now I want to pull all of our history. Guess what? They don't have it all because it wasn't their responsibility. It's your responsibility, the client, to save your data.
Yep.
So as you're processing payrolls, you should be saving all of the data, all of the output, all of the reporting by check date in, after all that, so that you have the data. Maybe a little tedious depending on how you're saving it to put it back together, but you have it.
Yep.
Right? And you can save it in multiple places, multiple ways.
Right.
Again, create that redundancy. And that's the equivalent to what it's saying, tape storage, tamper resistant, right? Also, make sure it's saved in a good place, like have IT secure it,
Yep.
cyber save, and la da 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 da. You know what I mean? We had a mutual coworker that saved everything on her desktop.
Yeah.
And I would be like, what are you doing? Oh, no, I save it all on my desktop. I save it all. I was like, girl, you need to save that to the share drive,
Yeah.
to your OneDrive that gets backed up by IT. I know, but I'm like, oh my gosh.
It's
Like,
easy
I
for me
love
to,
the,
it's easy
but
for me to find there.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I can't. I was like, yo, what do you, anyway, that it's simple things like that. That's the equivalent.
Yep.
So yeah. And I like how you ended it off with company culture, man.
Yeah.
It's really, oh man, I just, gosh, I didn't read the article, but I saw something on LinkedIn that said, is company culture HR's responsibility?
I think it's a part of it. The company's culture is the company's responsibility. So it's everyone's there.
It's everyone's
So
there. I like
not
that.
just
Yeah.
HR.
Yeah,
HR
right.
can be the people that
A tool,
can drive it.
help,
But yeah,
right?
right.
But it's not
But
their
if I'm
responsibility.
over here in payroll and I'm acting a fool,
Yep. Or if you're the CEO,
yeah,
right? When as CEO, as the owners of companies, it starts with us,
yeah,
right? And it's trickled down.
Mhm.
So it's like, if we're doing one thing and our company is trying to do another, we start the company culture.
Yes, sir.
The leaders
Yes, sir.
are the build the company culture. So I wish I could, if anybody knows what that article is and knows what I'm talking about, please inbox it to
Yes,
me.
sir.
Because I saw it on LinkedIn and I was like, whoa. And I just, it was like a scroll. I don't know. I don't know if it was late or something. I just couldn't drill in. But yeah, so good stuff, man. Very interesting. I love how we tied it all back to payroll and audits and compliance.
Yes, sir.
So you want to end us?
You got it, man.
I got it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
man.
think you're gonna like this.
All right. Quote of the day as we close out the show, folks. Trust is good, but controls are better. Even the most loyal employee can be one bad decision away from $1 million mistake.
Yes, sir.
Yes, love that. Yep, that is absolutely true. And folks, please remember to subscribe, like, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. Check us out on all the platforms. We're everywhere podcasts can be, and on YouTube. What else? Look out for the book dropping soon. We got so many things coming out. The book is, and folks, the book is just like, I always want to say it's an ode to payroll, but it's not. It's like, should be used as a payroll recruiting tool, because we're aging out. We're a lot of us are, especially Walt and I are in that senior veteran category that he was talking about. So it's either time for retirement or we're moving on to our own business. And for us, it'll be moving on to our own business. We need new young blood to fill the gaps. There's not enough of young folks coming to fill the gaps for us. So we've written this book to be a tool for payroll folks around the world to say, hey, if you're thinking about coming into payroll, here, read this. If you're interested, get back to me. You know what I mean? And we got, oh my gosh, I can't wait to tell everybody the support and the collaborations,
Yeah.
the forward, the reviews, the input, all from the greatest payroll folks in the world,
And
man.
look,
So
just
amazing.
to piggyback on the one thing that you said about payroll and us needing young blood, it's a stable career, right?
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
an essential business function. Yes, it
Yep.
may change,
It's
you
gonna,
know,
no, it's gonna
and
change.
everything, but regardless
Mhm.
of economic conditions, there's always going to be a need for a payroll person.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And so on that note, folks, we will see you next time. We love you. Peace.